So, as many people know, in Illustrator, they have a pattern making tool that, for example, I can select these graphics and go up to Object, Pattern, and Make. And you get the little dialog box, and you can set your patterns and you can change the style. You can move your graphics around within it, and you can add shapes, delete shapes, change colors, do all sorts of things, and create your patterns. And when you're done, you can save as a new swatch. But that sometimes is a lot for people new to Illustrator to deal with. So there is another way I wanted to show real quick. Another way to do it, I'm just going to start out. I'm going to use the shape tool and I'll get the ellipse, set the fill to orange and the stroke to none. It doesn't really matter because we can change it later. And I'm going to hold down the shift key to constrain it to a circle and the alt key to constrain it from the center. Just draw out a circle. Once I've done that, I'm going to go up to Effect, Distort and Transform, and then Transform, and it brings up the dialog box. Now the preview isn't on by default, and it's also not a sticky setting, so you have to turn it on each time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on, and I'm going to set the number of copies to, I don't know, 10. We can always change this later. And then I'm going to change the vertical spacing, and as you can see, it takes those 10 copies and spaces them out. You can also, and I know I just said vertical, I meant horizontal, don't mind me. You can also actually change the vertical spacing if you want to do that. Another cool thing you can do, you can hit Reflect X, and you can see it sets a pattern this way. Or you could change it to Reflect Y and do it the other way. Either way works. I'm going to leave it at Reflect Y. Hit OK. Now the cool thing is, if you want to continue this pattern down the rest of the page with that first shape still selected, we're going to go back up to Effect, Distort and Transform again. And you'll get this little warning window, and it says it's going to apply another instance, or if you want to edit the current instance, just go to the Appearance panel. And since we do want to apply a second instance, we're going to hit Apply New Effect. And again, we'll turn on the preview. I'll make, I don't know, 5 copies this time. We don't need to reflect anything because it already is. And since we did reflect Y earlier, we're going to change the vertical. And this will space it out to get a pattern. And I'll hit OK. And there's our pattern. Here's the cool part. If you want to go back in and change anything, you can. Just click on the first shape again. And in your Appearance panel, should be on the right. And if you don't see it, just go up to Window and Appearance. But in the Appearance panel, you'll see the 2 effects. And it reads from the top down. So this is the first transform effect we applied, and this is the second. And one thing people might not realize is that if the text is in orange with an underline, that's actually a clickable link. So we'll click once. And if you wanted to, you could go in and adjust the settings. And like I said, the preview setting isn't sticky, so you have to click it each time if you want to actually see what you're doing. And I just changed it a little, so I'll hit OK. And if you wanted to change the second one, you could go in there and click 2. But here's the cool part. Say you did this pattern in orange and you wanted to change it. We'll just go back to the original shape. And for example, I don't know, if you wanted to make coloring images, we'll take the fill out and we can give it a stroke. Now you got a bunch of circles. Here's where it even gets more fun. I'm going to hold down the Z key and use the left mouse button to drag in, just so you can see this a little better. I'll hit the V key again. You can rotate this if you want. I won't do that right now because a circle, you're not really going to notice it. But you can change the size of the shape. Now if I rotate the shape, it'll make more sense because it wasn't a circle. And you can get a pattern like that. You can go in and play with the shape and change it even more if you want to get like little baby Pac-Mans or whatever. I don't know. That's kind of fun. Let me undo that. Another thing you could do, we could copy this one. So I'll hit Control C. And then we want to paste in place. And the keyboard shortcut is Shift Control V. And then we can take that second one and we could rotate it around. And you could change the pattern even more. And you could keep going if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to make multiple ones. You can also change the fill and the stroke if you wanted to. You can change the size. And you could still at any point in time go back to your transform and readjust the settings. So whether you're making a pattern to use in your images or a pattern to use for coloring pages, this is a pretty quick and easy way to do it. The cool thing is that you can also use graphics if you want to. Let me turn off that other one. Oi! Let's turn off everything. It turned on too much. There we go. I used this file and just copied it in, pasted it, and you can use graphics, you could use text, you could use symbols, you could use pretty much whatever you want. And like I said, this is just another way besides a pattern tool, and it's pretty useful. So check it out.